Virgo, welcome to your weekly Sidereal forecast from May 25th through the 31st. My name is Athen. So an important week. We've got this stellium here in your 9th house all conjuncting each other this week, involving your ruler Mercury, who's retrograde right now. So this is an introverted kind of time period. But what's interesting is that this week is very energetic. We're coming into it in the third quarter phase of the lunar cycle, going into the gibbous phase. And so this is the part of Mercury retrograde where it's important you're having that presence and peace involved with what you're doing on that day-to-day environment, the day-to-day level, maybe even relating to your work as well, or your career, with Mercury ruling also your 10th house. So this is also further emphasized this week because all week, starting on Monday and all the way through Sunday, these fast movers are going to be squaring up to Neptune. So Neptune in your 6th house has been showing you guys the importance of flowing and trusting in the day-to-day activities, and to, see that there's a divine process unfolding, and to have that presence in it so that you can enjoy it and have that, that connection and that tranquil time involving these things. So all that Neptune energy of presence and tranquility, it's very important that you bring that into these 9th house activities that you're going to continue to be involved with. You've already had Mars, Mercury, and the Sun here for quite some time, well, the Sun recently, but there's been a lot of emphasis with your expansion in life, your philosophy, your life path, perhaps your travel, your spirituality, things of this nature. And so I think you've been motivated by it. I think there's been also your communication has been oriented towards it, with Mars ruling your 3rd and your 8th house. Also thinking about on that deep level. And then involving the Sun, it's like spiritual. Sun rules your 12th house. So there's this whole spiritual process of, this whole life path stuff and your philosophy and things. But especially your ruler Mercury, rethinking and reworking the philosophy and life path stuff right now at the moment. So while you're doing all of this, it's very important that you bring in Neptune all week, trust, flow, especially with the thinking side of things, with Mercury involved with what you're, doing and thinking about, having that presence as best you can. I think this would be a really good week for meditation, things that help you connect. Again, meditation isn't just, in the lotus position. It's just anything that puts you into a meditative state, having that observation and tranquility, and getting that rest and relaxation through the routine, through taking care of things, so that you can enjoy some of that introspective time, which is certainly the case for you with that Mercury retrograde. But still very active, and you'll find that it's through going with the flow that you are actually getting a lot done, Mars, and perhaps actually flowing a lot with the day-to-day activities, Mercury, maybe even expressing yourself very nicely too, the Sun. So very important there with that Neptune all week. Now Monday and Tuesday, Venus will be squaring up to Uranus. So this early part of the week, with all this, maybe enjoyment or, relationships that maybe you've been connecting to through the work sphere, or at least could be, that's been enjoyable for you, and that's been a flow for you. Even things relating to the life path, because Venus does rule your 9th, I think has been relating to your work in some sense. Now, this is an uncomfortable position for Venus. She's in a friendly sign, but she's at the top of the chart. This is where your relationships are kind of in this public limelight, and things are very extroverted, where she likes to be at the bottom, a little bit more about the exchanges and things. So the key here with this in the early part of the week, especially, maybe even things relating to your finances as well, because she rules your 2nd, is so there's changes, right? So there's changes that are important this week with Uranus, early part. So just make sure that you're keeping everything nice and grounded, nice and constructive with any changes here involving these things. Again, relationships, involving your career, maybe even the financial side of things. And keep it constructive. Don't make any rash, super, abrasive decisions just sudden decisions, rash decisions, because Uranus is, can sometimes feel like that with the square up to Uranus, especially involving relationships. There's been a lot of changes perhaps in relationships over the past many years, and especially over in March when we had the eclipses and that square up to Uranus in March as well. So that freedom, there is this newfound freedom that you've had through your relationship. So I think just remembering that in the grounded sense will certainly be assisting you in those areas the early part of the week. Now Tuesday and Wednesday, Mercury, your ruler, will be going over Mars. So this is where you're going to be learning a lot about the assertiveness, also your communications and the deeper side of life too. So again, this whole week is about learning, introspection, thinking about these things, and what really motivates you about your life path with Mars in the 9th. Now, Wednesday and Thursday, Venus will be trining up to Chiron, so there is some support coming in from the routine and daily activities and self-improvement, helping and assisting, again, this 10th house, work, career, and maybe even relationships or financial side of things. So very supportive there. I think you'll find that very healing. It's just going to be there. It's a trine. I think you'll find that rejuvenating Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday through Saturday, this whole second half of the week, Mercury, your ruler, retrograde, squaring up to Neptune. So this is going to be the big emphasis for you Virgos, with your ruler now squaring up to Neptune. The second half is having that presence in what you're doing. I mean, it's straight out. It's this whole week, but especially the second half. So that, the trust, the flow, especially in things you're thinking about, reflecting on, maybe even reworking or redoing in the career side of things, or in this life path side of things. Take it slow, and it'll be through that process that you'll find it very constructive, actually. So it can be a week, second half, to get a lot done in those areas, by flowing with the river, so to speak. Now, over the weekend, the sun then will be conjunct up to that Mercury retrograde. So here, I think things take on a more spiritual nature. I think over the weekend, it's very important for you to get that rest and relaxation, because the sun does rule your 12th house, and your self-expression, thinking about these things, but it is a very supportive energy towards your life path, because that conjunction is going to be trining up to the North Node over the weekend, which is all about your goals, your ambitions, your drive, yourself. The North Node's been in your first house all year, will continue to be there for the rest of the year. So that's the flow and the openings and the gateways for you this whole time period, which is towards your goals, your drives, what you're doing, what you're involved with. Now, you may or may not be feeling this personally because it's not a personal planet, but if you look, you'll see that's where the openings have been. So anything relating to those goals and ambitions and your self-image, all those first house things over the weekend, I think you'll find very supportive. But again, it's through this flow, and it's also through perhaps resting and relaxing and learning about the importance of the more tranquil and spiritual side of life over the weekend. So all in all, Virgo, I hope you guys have a nice week. I think that 9th house is definitely being activated. Lots of shifting and changing with the life path and philosophy. But this week it's about learning about that trust and how things are flowing in that direction for you. And then over the weekend, very supportive for your goals. So if you guys have any questions, please let me know. If you're new to this form of astrology, do check out masteringthezodiac.com, or if you'd like a personal session, and I will see you all next time. Take care.